Hello and welcome to my channel. I know it's been a while since I've given you a book themed video, but this is my wrap up for September and October. A lot of things have happened for me personally in October, which is why I haven't posted anything, and so I decided to put a video together of September and October. I read 9 books in September and another 9 books in October. So let's start with September and go through what I read. And the first book we're going to look at today is Not a Penny More, Not a Penny Less by Jeffrey Archer. I've read some of Jeffrey Archer's books, and this one is probably one of my favourites. It's about a group of 4 guys who get conned on a stock market scam and decide to take their revenge on the man who conned them. It's quite fun story, and if you like things like Ocean's 11 or the UK TV show Hustle, this is quite a good read, and I've given this one 5 stars. The next book is Plagueland by S.D. Sykes. This is a murder mystery set in the 1300s, shortly after the Black Death. It's a pretty good story, and if you like crime novels and period fiction, this is a nice one to read, and I've given it 3 stars. It's kind of run of the mill, but the gimmick of setting it in the 1300s kind of adds a bit more to it than it would normally be. So like I said, 3 stars. And the next book is Strange Weather by Joe Hill. I've read a few of Joe Hill's books, and some of them I quite enjoy, some of them I don't enjoy as much. This is a book of 4 short novellas. A couple of them were all right. One of them I really didn't like, and the other one was a bit middling. And I've only given this 3 stars. If you like Joe Hill's writing, you might enjoy this more than I did. But it's not too bad, but it really wasn't something that I could latch on to. The next book is Dead Famous by Ben Elton. This is a 4-star read for me, and it is basically a murder mystery set in the Big Brother house, and it is quite funny, as those who know of Ben Elton's other work, not just novels, but his sitcom writings, such as Blackadder. Yeah, it's a good crime novel, and it's quite funny in parts as well. So like I said, it's a 4-star read. The next book is City of Death, originally by Douglas Adams, and has been novelised by James Goss. This is probably one of the best Doctor Who stories when it was on TV. It is quite good. It's quite fun. It sticks very well to the actual TV show, and I really enjoy this. I have read it numerous times, and I'll probably go back to it again numerous times in the future. If you like Douglas Adams' work, yeah, you'll love this, and I've given it 5 stars. The next 2 books are Angels and Demons by Dan Brown and The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. there's not much I can say about these that people don't already know. They're very, very famous. Unlike the way the films have had it with the Da Vinci Code first and Angels and Demons second, it's actually the other way around. And I really think that Angels and Demons is my favourite of the whole series of Robert Langdon books. I'm reading through all of them at the moment, and I think I'm going to do a specific deep dive into the whole series once I've finished. These two are 4 stars each. And the final 2 books are also by the same author. They are The Survivor by James Herbert and Ash by James Herbert. These two are quite different. This one is about a sole survivor of an air crash, kind of reminiscent of Unbreakable, to be honest, but with a ghostly, supernatural stint to it. And Ash, this is James Herbert's final book, came out the year before he passed away. This is full of conspiracy theories and is a horror following James Herbert's David Ash, who's a ghost hunter and parapsychological investigator. He's commissioned to go to a house in the Shetland Islands in Scotland that's controlled basically by this suspicious secret group. If you like James Herbert, then I would recommend picking up both of these books, and I've given both of them 4 stars each. Now that the September books are out the way, let's look at what I read for October. And the first book I read for October is The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker. I really do enjoy this book. It's a quick read, and it's a very good horror novel. Because it's short, I could probably read it in a day. I haven't actually seen the film Hellraiser, not the first one anyway. But from what I've learnt about the film, this is a pretty good the film is a pretty good adaptation of the novel, and I gave this book 5 stars, and I will definitely read it again and again and probably again. And the next book is The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. This is kind of a home invasion horror story. This book is about a young girl and her 2 fathers. They go to their holiday cabin, and they're visited by 4 people who tell them that the end of the world is nigh, and only the 2 dads and the daughter can actually stop it. I wanted to like this book, but I didn't. I found that it wasn't really scary at all. I don't find home invasions that scary anyway, and the events are pretty nonsensical, really. If you want to instill fear, they're pretty nonsensical, and you're left wondering, is it really the end of the world or not? It doesn't really answer that question. So I've only given this book 2 stars. And the next book I read was Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kelly Maniscalco. I quite enjoyed this book. I borrowed it off my daughter. It's quite a good YA novel. Quite a bit of research has been done into Jack the Ripper. I've done a lot of Jack the Ripper research myself for a book idea that I've had for a few years, and not really started yet, but it is in the it is on the list of my books. Yeah, I did enjoy this. It's quite fun. typical YA, kind of a YA will they weren't they kind of romance type thing in it that I've noticed over the past few years. Um, but yeah, pretty good. And I can see this becoming a film or a TV series like something on Netflix or something. And I gave this 4 stars. The next book is The Lost Symbol by Dan Brown. As I've said, I'm going through the Robert Langdon series, and this is very similar to all the others. But I do like the reading style and uh, the fast, punchy way in which it's written, and I give this 4 stars. And the next book is Lord Lost by Darren Shan. Um, I've read this once before, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't like it as much on this second read, um, but it is still quite enjoyable. It has an extremely graphic opening. Um, the first couple of chapters are extremely horrific, especially for a children's novel. Um, but it's fun. It's short. If you've read any of the Darren Shan's novels, um, you'll like this one. Um, but if you haven't tried Darren Shan before, I'd recommend to pick this one up or the first one in his Cirque du Freak series. Um, you'll have a good time. And I've given this one 4 stars. And the next novel is Needful Things by Stephen King. I do enjoy this story. This is kind of one of his Castle Rock stories. There's characters that have been in his previous novels, most notably uh, Sheriff Alan Pangborn from The Dark Half. It kind of carries on uh, the adventures of Sheriff Pangborn. It's about a new shop opens up in Castle Rock, and basically you can supply anything that you want. Basically fulfills your need, your dreams, whatever you want. But there's a price to pay, not just a monetary price. Um, it's quite a good novel. It is quite thick. It's quite big, but it keeps you hooked all the way through. And this is one of the reads from this month that I've given 5 stars to. Now, the final 3 books are the books I read for my October horror-thon. The first one being Bram Stoker's Dracula. I really like this. I've read it a few times. I listened to it also on LibriVox, a free audio stories read by lots of different people. It's really good. I find it easier to listen to and read along than reading it kind of on its own. But yeah, it's really, really enjoyable. Most of you know the story. This one I gave 5 stars to. The next one was Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I also listened to this on LibriVox while I read it. It's not bad. It's quite short. I didn't like it as much as Dracula, but they're both written in a very similar format, kind of letters and diary entries. The book tries to make you sympathetic for the monster, though I found that the monster, though you could look at him as a sympathetic character, he has no empathy whatsoever, and he basically lost all sympathy that he actually could get by killing a number of innocent people. for no reason than just to pee off Victor Frankenstein. So though its story has lasted the test of time, I've only given it 4 stars. And the final book is The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. I like this book. If you've seen the film, or even if you've heard of the film, you kind of know the story. A young girl gets possessed by a demon, and a exorcist is called to drive the demon out of her. A lot of the controversial things from the film are in the book. Some of the things that were cut from the film are still in here. It is quite a disturbing story, but quite enjoyable, entertainable, put it that way. And I gave this 4 stars. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this extra long video. Have you read any of the books that I read in September or October? Please let me know in the comment section down below, and remember to like the video and to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again in the next one.